Scheduled meeting of Mayor and Council to order for February 2nd, 2026, and ask everybody, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, this year we have an election scheduled, so I would like to announce that the general municipal election for mayor and council of Middletown may be held on March 2nd, 2026. The election hours are from 12 noon until 8 p.m. in the Town Hall Council Chambers. Candidate filing deadline is this Friday, February 6th at 4:30 p.m. Residents who will be out of town or who are sick or disabled and would like to vote by absentee ballot may do so until 4:30 p.m. on Friday, February 27th. Absentee ballots have to be returned by March 2nd at 8 p.m. to be counted. Absentee ballot request forms can be found on the town's website at www.middletown.delaware.gov under election information, or they can be picked up at the town hall between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. through Friday. All residents over 18 are eligible to vote and must show proof of residency. I'd like to appoint the following inspectors and judges for the election. Inspector will be Kristen Krenzer. Judges will be Katie Morris, Kate Keller, Christina Duncan, Noel Stokes, Crystal Jackson, Mariana Flores, Natalie Lopez, Cynthia Birch, Kurt Von Brandt, Brian Austin, Kylie Edwards, Amy Murray, Mamie McKinnon, Kayla Diaz, and Tabitha Queen. Alternates in case of illness will be Megan McGee and Lisa Green. Our election board members are Sonia Comstock, Debbie Pierce, and Robert Stewart. So filing deadline is Friday afternoon of this week. So first on the agenda is minutes approval, which is before us in printed form.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Craig, seconded by Aaron. Any questions on the minutes? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next on the agenda is Treasurer's Report, which is again before us in printed form.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Chaz, seconded by Mr. Orr. Questions of council on the Treasurer's Report? Questions from anyone? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next on the agenda is bills payable, which this month total $3,589,316.
Make a motion to pay bills when funds become available.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Chaz, second by Mr. Orr, that we pay the bills as funds become available. Questions on the motion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next on the agenda is the police report. Chief Texter.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is the police report for February 2026. Just a quick recap of the activities from the previous reporting period. We responded to approximately 1,121 calls for service. A couple of significant events in each district. We had a burglary in one district. Officers discovered that the old Johnson Control buildings had theft of copper piping. The building is currently under renovation. The value of the property stolen was about $4,600. If anybody has any information on that, please contact our detectives. There's nothing significant in 2 district. In 3 district, we had a theft of a motor vehicle during the early morning hours of December 19th. The victim's Dodge Charger was stolen from the driveway. It was later recovered in the Christiana area. Nothing over in 4 district. Just a real quick recap of the month. 212 traffic summonses, 2 DUIs, 61 criminal charges, 8 felony arrests, 49 misdemeanors, no civil penalties, 4 violations, 111 warnings, 211 written reports, and 343 FSR's field service reports. We had various collaborative meetings. Obviously, this includes the period right before the holidays. Was at SN4C. other community stakeholders for our, as you'll see, our Shop with a Cop program. And we also had, just a real quick mention, I don't think I have a picture of it, but the Citizens Police Academy graduation, again, was a great turnout, great group of people. We appreciate them taking the time to come out with us. It's a pretty big commitment on their part to show up multiple Wednesdays throughout the fall. And then, as I'd mentioned, we did Shop with a Cop again with at-risk community members. We had sponsors from multiple organizations where we were able to take kids shopping to get them items for Christmas. And we also hosted a day with Santa so that community kids could come in and get photos and different items from Santa Claus. As you can see, again, our traffic, again, similar type areas, similar type problems. I just ask that you please, especially with the bad weather and the bad conditions on the road, please slow down, take your time. It does make a difference, especially as everybody can see the roads are the conditions right now with the ice. And then again, as every month it seems to be, driver inattention. So please pay attention. Please don't use your cell phones, especially in these conditions. It takes longer stopping distances, so you're more likely to get in a crash than under normal circumstances if you're not giving proper distance. And then just a real quick recap of the documented incidents: 163 in one district, 123 in two district, 95 in three, and 51 in four. And that concludes the police report, sir.
I'll entertain a motion to accept Chief Dexter's police report. So moved. Moved by Dave Thomas, seconded by Jim Royston. Any questions on the police report of the chief? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Can I add one thing, sir? I just wanted to mention that we have had a increasing number of incidents of thefts of packages from like Amazon-type deliveries from your porches. So if you know something might be coming, please just try and keep an eye on it. Or if you have cameras or know a neighbor that has a camera, just something to be alert of, because it is an issue we've had, especially in the last couple of weeks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next on the agenda is the Police Accountability Committee update. Mr. Thomas.
We had a meeting on January 14th, and, pretty much it was a pretty short meeting, and our next meeting's going to be April 15th, 2026.
And those meetings are here?
These
and
meetings are here at Town Hall, as well as being streamed live.
Streamed live, right, okay. Okay, next on the agenda is the Middletown Main Street update. Kate Rokos.
Good evening. So we do have an event, Middletown Main Street has an event planned for Saturday, February 21st from 10 to 3. We are sponsoring a jigsaw puzzle and board game swap. So this is at the Gibby. So you come out, bring or donate or trade in your old puzzles and board games. We'll have, plenty there for you to pick from. We'll have a community puzzle set up, free hot chocolate, just a fun event to bring the community out. And next month, I hope to present to you all of my permits for the year for your approval.
Did you say where it is?
At the Gibby.
At the Gibby, okay. Okay, great. Any questions from Kate? I'll entertain a motion to accept Kate Rokos' report for Main Street. Moved by Mr. Orr, seconded by everybody else. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. Okay, next on the agenda is the public hearing portion of our agenda. The first one is 105 East Cochran Street. It's a conditional use permit request for an auto detailing building and garage detail works in an R1 zone CU-01-26, and it went to planning and zoning, and they recommended approval. Yes, sir.
My name is Brandon Parrott. Apologize in advance too, just like I did at planning and zoning. I'm terrible at speaking in public, so I'll do the best I can. My name is Brandon Parrott, and I am the owner and operator of Detail Works, currently located on Industrial Drive. I'm seeking approval to relocate my business to my home at 105 East Cochran Street. Currently, there's an existing carport on the property that I'd like to replace with a 30 by 40 pole barn. I know it planning and zoning a neighbor, and there could be more neighbors, address concerns about how close it was to their home and noise and such. So I'd like to address that. I am open to moving it to a different location on the property or moving it 20, 30 feet away, to help address that situation or alleviate that. On a typical week, I detail 3 to 4 vehicles, which normally take anywhere between 4 and 6 hours to complete, and would consist of a wash, a wax, interior and exterior windows, shampooing and vacuuming carpets, wiping down interior trim panels, and blowing out cracks and crevices with compressed air. The bulk of my work, though, comes from doing paint corrections and ceramic coating, so removing scratches, swirl marks, stuff like that from vehicles. And then I also do offer stone chip repair. It's just with touch-up paint that anybody could buy in an auto parts store. It's nothing crazy. I'm not spraying it. Doesn't go airborne, anything
Like
like
the little
that.
bottles you would touch up
Correct.
on? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And I do use various pieces of equipment, including a buffer, a dual-action polisher, a vacuum, an air compressor. If I can build and use it for my business, once the building's complete, the air compressor would be placed inside an insulated room to limit noise, and if possible, I would mount my vacuum in that room as well, just to minimize noise. The products I use come from a manufacturer called Optimum and can be purchased through Walmart and/or various auto parts stores, and are safe for the environment.
Okay, well, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the conditional use request at 105 East Cochran Street as presented, and then we can open it up for questions.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Thomas, seconded by Mr. Blythe. The products that came up at planning and zoning too, in the minutes there reflected about any hazardous materials in the products. It's all the stuff you can buy
Yep,
off the shelf. No-
anybody in here can buy it
You even sent
off.
Tristan today the MSDS sheets of those? Okay. I know that was a question that planning and zoning had. In addition to the number of products, they'll all be scheduled. The number of drop-offs will all be scheduled based on
Correct.
the minutes.
Yep, yep.
And they recommended somewhere around 10 feet, but you're willing to go as far as 30 feet or more?
Yeah, I mean,
As long
I-
as it wouldn't affect the driveway
Correct, yeah.
to get in?
Yep.
Okay. That was one of the recommendations that they had during their meeting. Okay. Any questions from council?
Yeah, so I drove by and I looked, so you're looking to put this at the rear of the property?
Correct.
Is that, okay. You've
Yeah,
got
that was the tentative place I picked. It made the most sense as far as getting a driveway back to it. I do have a space right behind my house where a swimming pool used to be. It could go there and the driveway could come in and turn right. It would be significantly further away from neighbors and stuff like that. So it'd be relatively close to the back side of my house.
And you're only anticipating, what'd you say, 4?
3 to 4. If I have a coding job, it's pretty rare that I schedule anything else for that week. A coding job would typically take 3 to 4 days. So I'm super low volume. I'm quality over quantity, so I'm not turning out 30, 40, 50 cars a week. So
Brendan, how many of those vehicles of the 3 to 4 will be on the property at one time? All 4? Or?
nope. One a day.
3 or 4 a week, and then you'll do one per day, so to speak? Okay. And they're all scheduled, like I think I already asked you that?
Yeah, I don't take walk-ins or anything like that. I don't have people hanging out waiting for vehicles to be picked up, so.
I think the question was asked, how many vehicles would be coming and going and the traffic on the street, so really, it would be none, because it would be the one would
Correct.
pull in the one you're doing
Correct.
for that day?
Yep.
Okay. There's traffic going Cochran, so yeah, okay.
Do you have set hours of operation, or is it all just scheduled?
Right now, I'm typically 8 to 4:30. With that being said, if I schedule one job during the day, if I'm done it in 4 hours, I'm done for the day. So it's pretty rare I work a full 8-hour day.
And then, I think at planning and zoning was mentioned, you have to go to, get a business permit, have to get, you already have a business license.
Yep.
Because of the business in town.
Yep.
But you have to get a building permit and get all the
Correct.
inspections.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, any questions from anyone?
I think the one item that came up was, a concern about noise, right?
Yep.
And so I think if you can demonstrate to us that you're going to have this in an area where you can mitigate that noise as best as possible,
Yep.
I think that's important to the neighboring properties as well.
Mhm.
If that's part of your building permit process, I would try to show that.
Okay.
The equipment you use is just all the hand stuff like I would, not me, I don't do that, but somebody would
compressor,
wax their
vacuum.
car.
Yeah,
Compressor
yeah, and like I said, I realize the compressor is loud per se. Same thing with the vacuum. I do plan on putting a bathroom in, and I would just run that stuff in the bathroom through the wall, run the air lines through the wall. Same thing with a vacuum hose. That way it minimizes noise that much further. I do plan on putting heating and AC in it, so it's pretty rare that the garage door would be open while I'm working on the vehicles, so.
And one of the questions was runoff, I think, when they talk about, you also sent a picture, can we have that one, Kristen, of the pad?
Oh, the wash mat?
pad, wash
Yeah,
mat.
so per EPA, if you were to get on the EPA's website, they recommend if you're washing vehicles at home, that you do it on a pervious surface, so gravel or grass or something like that. So,
I didn't download that one.
yeah, I think it was in there, but nonetheless, it's a mat.
It's a mat you
it's
put
like a-
under it and
correct.
it soaks up
Yep.
the water.
Well, it'll hold the water, you pump it out into the grass or gravel or wherever with a
So there
sump.
wouldn't be
sump
any
up.
danger of runoff from washing
No,
inside?
no, and there's no way, I mean, it's definitely not gonna reach neighbors at all, so,
So your plan would be to use that mat, pump it out into the grass.
correct.
Those MSDSs, though, have
Yes.
listed as irritants on 3 of the 4 products that we looked at. Irritant, eye irritant, skin irritant. You're
Yeah.
doing 4 a day, 5 a day, and pump that in your grass.
But it's-
You don't see that as a problem for your neighbors?
He's only doing
I'm,
one a
I'm not
day.
doing 4 to 5 a day,
He's one a day, 3
It'd
or
be-
4 a week.
3 to 4 a week.
Of that one?
Yeah,
Of that one thing, but I thought you said 4 cars a day.
no, 3 to
One
4
per day.
a week.
Oh, 1 per day?
Yeah.
4 a week, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you are really low volume.
Yeah, very, very low
Low
volume.
volume,
yeah.
high labor,
Yep.
pay for the labor, yeah.
Brendan, I assume you've looked at other commercial properties around town. Is there a reason why you've chosen to do it at home?
Yeah, I mean, if I was to stay where I'm at right now on Industrial Drive, to re-sign a 2-year lease, it's gonna be $33,000 a year, so. It's just a lot of money.
Priced
for-
out.
Yeah,
And you won't be storing anything outside
no,
of this building?
nope,
No equipment?
Not really storing anything, right? There's no oil, that came up, nothing,
Nope.
nothing in there except what you'd use to wash and wax the car, yeah. Okay, any questions?
And
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Jim.
No, the size of the building, again,
30 by 40 by 12,
30 by 40 by 12?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I know, just wanted to clarify.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I live next door, I just have some concerns.
Okay, come to the podium.
Thank you, my name is Tom Jacobs, I live in the property adjacent to his. I would like the neighbors to be able to see the MSDS sheets, if possible, if you guys vote on this tonight. And also wanted to know the amount of water he's using, is that going to be metered directly from his property, or is that going to be a separate business meter? Like, how much water do we know is going into the grass? Denrec has certain permits for a certain amount of water.
Right.
So,
How much water would you use to wash your car?
I don't know, I'm not a professional.
We asked that question, it's less than 40 gallons.
I mean, how much of the engine is he detailing? How much of that oil is going into
Not
the
all of it.
grass?
It doesn't detail the engines, from what
and
I
I
understand.
don't do super nasty cars, so.
You don't detail engines? You don't wipe down the engines and wash the engines?
I mean, I can wipe an entire engine down and not have to spray any water in there whatsoever. A lot of newer vehicles, you pop the hood and it's all plastic, so.
And my last concern was the amount of square footage that's going to be covered up in his yard, because I live next door, so where this water is going to go is a concern of mine. I know the county, I know you guys supersede the county because of the municipal, but I was just curious of how much square footage of his yard is going to be covered up with concrete and buildings.
Well, probably less than the swimming pool that was there.
I don't know.
Well, the swimming pool,
I'm just saying, we don't have the answers to that.
No, well, he told you how big the building's gonna be, right? 20 by 30?
30 by 40.
30 by 40, so there you go, it's 1,200 square feet. But he'll have to go to planning and zoning to make sure all the setbacks are met to what's required. But he's already agreed to go at least 30 feet, which is much greater than, what is Morris, 10-foot setback for a side yard?
Yeah.
So that's the requirement, so he's already agreed to go 30 more
Yeah,
based on,
and we just have a concern with the noise pollution. And there's a lot of people in the neighborhood that work shift work, and it's tough.
well, but I mean, okay, I understand, but if somebody's out there waxing their car.
It's a compressor and a vacuum. It's a lot of noise.
But remember, the condition we're gonna put on the motion was that when he builds a building, he puts an insulating in there to be able to put the compressor in there to keep the sound down.
Okay.
That'd be part of the motion when we,
Okay, it just seems like there's a lot of loose ends here.
well, I think we're trying to tie them up, so there's not any.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, so just so we're clear, the size of the building is 30 by 40. You're gonna put it at least 30 foot from property line, right? And we're going to get permits and everything to make sure. MSDS were already turned in, so they are public record, so they will be available. Yes, sir.
My name's Dennis Mason. I live right around the corner from this gentleman. I have some pictures I just wanted to share that with the council real quick, if I can approach you
Sure.
folks.
One for the lawyer.
Before we get to the photographs, and one of the questions that I had, because when I just kind of looked up online, sir, do you own that property?
Where I'm planning to build,
Yes.
it is my girlfriend's. We've been there for 10 years.
Okay, you do not own that property.
We have a letter from her that gave him permission to request it. It's in the packet.
Is there a lease?
She's probably buying the house.
Yeah.
Well, probably isn't not having a commercial lease for a business. That's why I'm asked. That's one of my
It's
first
a
questions.
conditional use. It's not a commercial lease.
I understand what we're doing today, but I'm just saying, if he doesn't have one, there's some
We have a-
questions.
We have a letter that she wrote that she gives him permission as part of the packet, because this was a question that came up at planning and zoning. And it's from her, giving him permission to put the building, on there. Sharon McBride, 105 East Cochran Street, owns the property and gave permission for him to be there.
And if it turns out that he decides to start doing some other kind of work there, like automotive, not detailing, but work on vehicles, is that going to be permitted?
I'm not a
The only thing,
mechanic.
just so we're clear, the only thing we're permitting is what he brought up tonight. Detailing vehicles, waxing, detailing paint chips, paint scratches like that. Anything else, this is conditional use. That means the only use is a condition of what we approved tonight. That's it. And anything else that is out there, I'm sure you guys will watch. If anything else goes on out there, all you have to do is call Adrian Miller in the back in our inspection department, and we'll pull it. It's that easy.
And I'm
That's
going
it.
to, I'm going to go on the assumption that council has approved this letter as opposed to requiring some form of a lease or something like that, that would be binding going into the future should they break up.
We have the ability to stop it if anything he does not comply with the conditional use, whatever that might be.
Leaving aside that an auto detailing business would be completely out of character for the neighborhood, and there is nothing like that anywhere within probably 6 blocks.
That's not true. If you go over on Reading Street, there's a building there where it's commercial, building that was approved earlier, and it's going to be done inside the building. So,
Won't be heard. If you just go to the photographs that I provided you folks, I mean, I know you're all familiar with, that's bare concrete, cross street.
Yep.
Those are the tanks behind the building where he currently is. More industrial area, and then the fourth picture is actually what he currently has as far as the structure in which he runs his detailing shop.
right.
Yeah.
That's what
Now,
the
if we go
company,
to-
that's what the company that owns the business and the building that he leases from.
Yeah, but then if you go to the next two pictures, this is inside of his detail shop. I count 5 vehicles inside of there.
Okay,
Okay, correct. Right now, I have the capability to store vehicles.
yeah,
That's not my intention when I build up my house. I'm trying to downsize.
see,
And-
the
and-
issue is, it just seriously, he's making the commitment that one will be in there at a time. If they're not in there, the conditional use is pulled, business is stopped.
The last photograph that I supplied, it actually shows on the left-hand side the, I don't know if you can call it a rack or a bunch of shelving or whatever, that has multiple products. This is not just 4 products you'd be having, just sitting there and using one up and then moving on, moving on.
Correct.
These are several products.
Those are things I have gathered over the years. I don't use half of what's on the shelf. It can be thrown away.
So he's just gathering things now, and he's just keeping them. The other thing is in reality, he's gonna have to have lighting, he's gonna have to have a vent of some sort, because if he's gonna shut that place up, and he's gonna use those chemicals inside of there, he'll die without a respirator. So
It's
he's
not
gonna have
true
to
at
put in
all.
some kind of a ventilated system that's gonna be blowing. That-
When you're saying there's no chemicals involved, the commitment has been made that there's no chemicals involved. It's waxes and washes to be able to do cars just like you do in your driveway or I do in mine.
I take mine to a place, so this
sorry?
way I'm not worried about the drainage in the water.
Why?
Why?
If he's using chemicals and it's gonna be in the water, you wouldn't be worried about that?
A lot of places that actually are commercial, they actually have a way of filtering or storing the water until it's actually dumped. Even that aside, you've already covered, I think, several of the issues. If this gentleman's saying that there's not gonna be 5 cars there, there's not gonna be a whole lot of traffic, he's not gonna have employees, and like you said, it can be pulled should he violate that.
It's a given, seriously. This is why it's called a conditional use. We're given the permission to do it if he meets these conditions. If any of these conditions are not met, or there's more than that there, it'll be pulled. And by being pulled, I mean terminated and he's shut down.
I guess my last thing I'll just leave you with is that if you look at the first 3 photographs, you see who his neighbors are right now. He's in an area, it's industrial, it's bare concrete. It's not in the middle of a neighborhood where you have a lot of nice homes, a lot of kids, a lot of people running around. And I understand what we're hearing today, but I hope that you guys will actually do what you say you will, because
Oh, time
if it
out.
doesn't,
Stop right there.
What?
Stop right there. Don't even assume that we're not going to do what we say we do, because we do what we say. That's why we have an inspection department, why we're making a conditional use tonight. So for you to assume that we're not going to enforce this, it's not fair, because we will.
Has there been any concern about the existing outbuildings that are already on the property?
It's coming down either way. The carport would replace, that would come down.
Right? That
This
was
would
part of
replace
his
it.
testimony.
Whether I put it right where the carport is or we move it 20, 30 feet away.
Carport's coming down as part of the
Correct.
condition that he made at planning and zoning.
And the condition right now, as far as the placement, it has to be 30 feet from whose,
At least 30 feet from the property lines.
all property lines. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
I just want to ask.
No.
You said it's not-
Come to the podium.
I'm sorry. My name is Claire Shumate. I live at 100 East Green. I just wanted to ask, I know you said that you checked the MSDS sheets and such, saying that these chemicals are safe for grass and things. My vegetable garden backs up to his property. His property is right against there. So if that is draining from mats, I know it's safe for grass and things, but we eat this food. Like, we feed it to our pets, we share it with our neighbors. If that runoff goes, it's not only just MSD stuff, it's dirty water.
I don't think the mat won't hold enough water for it to be able to run off over 30
It butts
feet to your
my-
property.
It's very close. I just know how groundwater works, because seriously, if we can't even have our yards treated because of the vegetables and things that we grow and our animals. So my concern is that if there is an MSDS sheet that says that it's safe for vegetables, fruit, and things like that, I would feel more comfortable. But the fact that we do feed our family out of there is concerning.
Right. Well, that's why I said it's gonna be at least 30 feet from the back property line that's yours on Cochran Street.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Can this be 30 feet from every property line?
Possibly.
It's only 10 yards.
I understand, but him moving it from one side to the other, I just didn't know if that was going to encroach on that, in that parameter.
Well, in the middle of the yard, there was a pool when the original owner built that. The pool has now been filled in, so if they move the building further from where Commonsies lived and from Green Street, there's much more than 30 feet in the backyard. Yeah. I mean, I know the neighbors' yards, I know them pretty well. There's more than 30 feet all the way around, so. I mean, we'll stake it and make sure, Adrian, when she gives a permit, will make sure it's 30 feet when we get the permit. We'll make sure it's 30 feet from the back and from the side. Right, Adrian? What did I say? Want to stake out 30 feet from the back and from the side to make sure. Yep, okay. Yes, ma'am.
Whitney Jacobs, 105 South Cox. My question is, if we're talking about measuring where the footage is, what is the actual distance between his property line, her property line, excuse me, and the home, and then the home to the back property line, and then the side to the side? What's the distance?
I don't have an idea. You're talking about where the driveway would come up and go to the back?
I'm talking about, if you're talking about 30 feet, how much footage is left over? Let's just do
Meaning the width of the
basic
yard.
math here, right?
With yards, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, like how far away are we talking now? Because if you're gonna move it 30 feet away from my property line, then you're gonna move it closer to somebody else's.
Right.
That's just the way area and square footage works.
Okay, so let's assume the building's 40 feet. And we move it 30 from the property line to the edge of the building, and then the building's 40 feet, that's 70 feet. That lot's a hell of a lot more than 70 foot wide.
And if you're the-
More than 100.
Mayor, if you're the owner of the property or you're gonna do commercial business on a property, you should know the square footage. My only other question here is, if this is supposed to be a low-volume business and there's only one car a week, and the cars already fit in what the garage is on the property line right now, what's already there, where he already does cars for his own business there without a permit, where he keeps a lawnmower, why is it that this building has to be erected and this construction has to be done when something is already there, viable, feasible, and he's using it?
Because if he's using it as commercial, he realizes, I guess, that he can't do that legally. So he must get a conditional use permit to go forward.
I guess so.
Any other questions?
Brandon, are you on utilities with Ms. McBride for this?
Not 100% on that.
What's the question?
I was wondering if he's on the utilities for the house. I know he's got the letter for.
She owns a house, they live together.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if he's
They're significant others.
on the bill or not, that's all, as far as him using.
They're significant
water.
others. Is
No,
your-
I know, I'm just, I think just wanted to find out where we were with that, 'cause
I don't know. I think they're pretty close. Any other questions, council, anybody? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Nay. All right, we'll go roll call. And state the reason why. Dave?
Yes.
Okay? Rick?
no, reason why it goes against the general purpose of the comp plan,
Comp plan?
as far as section 10, as far as this conditional use.
Better be sure, because you're gonna get your ass sued. Okay? Mr. Orr?
I vote yes. On
Mr.
condition.
Chaz?
I vote yes.
Mr. Blythe?
No, detrimental to the public welfare and injurious to property owners.
Mr. Royston?
No, same detrimental to the surrounding community, and as Craig said, that, the intent of the comp plan, I don't think it's viable and to be building commercial buildings that size in a backyard in a neighborhood.
Well, I think the issue is it's not a commercial, it's a conditional use. So,
Commercial use, but it'll be used as a commercial building.
well, I'm gonna stick with what the planning and zoning board did, and I'm gonna vote yes. So conditional use is approved, 4 votes to 3, and reason being was noted for each one. Okay.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is 17 Wood Street, Unit 39. It's a conditional use request for an indoor playground, the Cozy Play Corner in a C2 zoned area. Indoor playground is designed for children 8 months and 7 years old. Play areas may contain slides and climbing structures, CU-02-26. Yes, sir.
Hi, good evening. My name's Anthony Solis. We are looking for approval on an indoor playground at 17 Wood Street, labeled as a soft play facility for children.
Okay, and it also went to planning and zoning?
Correct.
And planning and zoning recommended approval for this also. So I'll entertain a motion to approve conditional use request for 17 Wood Street, Unit 39, for an indoor playground, the Cozy Play Corner, in a C2 zoned area.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Mr. Royston, seconded by Mr. Sherman. Questions on the motion? Council? Anyone? Any questions? Hearing none. All in favor signify saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Very easy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck. Next on the agenda is 301 Business Park North. It's a northwest intersection of Warwick and Middle Neck Road. It's an amended record major land development plan for 2.4 million plus or minus square feet. It's a single-story e-commerce fulfillment center with an interior mezzanine, which will replace or supersede the previously recorded plan dated December 6, 2025 at this location. The amended plan submission contemplates all necessary changes for site improvements, utility infrastructure, and stormwater management for this new building. Phew. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Alex Escamilla. I'm with Blue Water Property Group. We're a developer located in Philadelphia and New York City. We partner with Amazon, who's the owner of this property, as well as will be the occupier of this facility. As the mayor said, this is an already approved plan that we are proposing to amend. The reason for the amendment is that this, Amazon is a very innovative company. Through the life of this land use approval, they have been iterating on this particular first mile facility and have moved from a multi-story 3.2 million square foot building to a single story with an interior mezzanine 2.7 million square foot building. The footprint of the building, to be clear, is about 1.2. The other square footage is on the interior mezzanine. So this is moving from about a 105-foot high building to a much more standard warehouse facility. Again, this is to accommodate the latest iteration in the technology. The approvals kind of came right at an intersection when this new prototype was being launched. We're just here to simply amend the plan to accommodate this new building type. This is what was previously recorded. As you can see, it's kind of a smaller footprint, more trailer parking, other impervious areas to accommodate the circulation and flow. This is an approximate rendering of that already approved plan. The new plan will look more like this: less trailer parking, approximately the same amount of associate parking, that's the employment in the building, bigger footprint, lower height. And this is a rendering of that building. The main plan updates, it's actually quite a similar overall, right? You're kind of going up and out as opposed to, going out and flat as opposed to up with lots of impervious around. You have very, very similar impervious ratios. Limits of disturbance are very, very similar. There's a little bit less traffic, obviously a lot less height, and very similar parking and trailer storage on site. Same benefits as the previously recorded plan, increase to tax base, permanent jobs, construction jobs, and all the other economic development that comes with a facility of this size. This is many full-time employees with benefits day one. That's it.
Okay, and as you mentioned, we did approve the plan before, so we're just redoing the plan based on what they wanted to do. And this doesn't change any traffic patterns of roundabouts and everything?
Nope.
That DelDOT has supported and everything that we've done going forward. This is all on-site, which is what Amazon's asking us to redo and reapprove.
Correct.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the amended record major land development plan for 2.4 million square foot single-story e-commerce fulfillment center, as was just presented at 301 Business Park North.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Mr. Royston, seconded by Mr. Chaz. Any questions on the motion? Council, any questions? Anyone have any questions? Yes, sir.
How many FTEs are there? Is that the question? How many employees are there? It ranges based on seasonality, but it's about 700 full-time employee equivalents.
Well, you know where it is, right? It's all the way on the west side, north side.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it, I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's going to be, but it's a heck of a lot less traffic than what we already have.
Right. It's actually less traffic than the previously approved plan. And as the mayor said, we've been in coordination with DelDOT. They mandate a certain amount of improvement for us to do in order to accommodate the volumes and keep intersections operating at an acceptable level. So there's a big off-site improvement plan.
Really, where that location is, traffic should be minimal because of 301.
Correct. It's a very, I mean, that's why the site is great for this type of development. It has great access to the highway. We're putting in a 2-lane roundabout in front of the facility, upgrading other roundabouts at Levels Road, 301, as well as the intersection at Middle Neck and Warwick Road. So there will be a significant off-site improvement package. That's what, basically roadway improvements.
If I remember correctly, when we did this facility here, there was discussion about, there was concern about traffic flow, right, in the tractor trailers. And I think there was discussion about signage, having discussions with the tractor trailer drivers as far as routes to get in and out of the location. I travel that road daily, and I think the potential concern would be to continue on Warwick to Sassafras and out to 301.
Right, right.
So, and I don't know, I mean, that's not really our jurisdiction per se, but you may get some, some
Questions
comments
about
on
that, yeah.
So I don't know if that's something you guys plan on talking to the drivers as it relates to how they get in and
Typically,
out.
there's a lot of above and beyond signage. There's pathways that are kind of determined. Obviously, Amazon and the contract drivers, because they don't all work for Amazon, their goal is to get in and out and back on the highway as efficiently and as quickly as possible. And luckily with this site, the best way is in and out back through all the way to Route 301. It's about a 5-minute drive. They want to get in and out of everybody's way as much as you do.
Yeah, okay.
Any other questions? Any questions from anyone? Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to know the primary shifts. Do you have shifts with this for the FT?
There are generally 3 shifts. It's a 3-shift facility. It is a 24-hour facility. There are certain breaks and downtimes during the day when that crossover happens. I can't speak to the exact shift times, but they have been part of an overall traffic study. And that's how the volumes at various intersections are determined, right? They overlay our shift start time with the town's peak traffic. And then in most cases, just like I said, Amazon is as concerned with people not sitting in traffic jams as the town is. They'll adjust shift times to make sure that their peak generation isn't happening at the same time.
Any other questions? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is, Zero Summit Bridge Road? Is that a typo?
No, that's correct.
Zero Summit Bridge Road, it's a concept plan for an RV and boat storage facility located on the west side of Summit Bridge Road, just south of Windmill Lane, 5.44 plus or minus acres in a C3 zoned area. Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Dennis Hume. I'm the company Woodard and Associates, the civil engineer for this project. I'm here tonight on behalf of my client, the McKee Group, to present this concept plan. The McKee Group has been building homes and doing business in Middletown for many, many years. Several years ago, a McKee Group built a high-quality, climate-controlled self-storage facility in the Westtown Business Park, and that facility has a very limited number of RV storage spaces. So this site located on Summer Bridge Road will fulfill the increased demand for high-quality covered RV and boat storage. This site is on the west side of Summer Bridge Road, and it's currently a site that has a variety of residential storage sheds for sale. This plan here proposes a totally covered site, parking areas with metal canopies that's approximately 14 feet tall. We have some examples that you can show on the screen. It's about the same scale as a single-story commercial building. The parking space will also be surrounded entirely with a security fence, and access will be controlled by automated gates. And if you have any questions at this time, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
So it's just going to be rooftop, nothing side, Dennis?
No, just roof to protect the vehicles from the weather and sun, but open from the sides to gain, access in and out.
And it's going to do the whole parcel from what they talked about originally was going to be for mini storages, but they've changed now?
Yeah,
to this?
there's no indoor storage of small items. It's totally RVs, boats, large vehicle storage.
Okay. Any questions for this? Is concept plan, so throw it out there so they can change the concept.
Any buffering plan for the homes that are behind this parcel?
Yeah, well, there'll be a landscape buffer. There's already a significant landscape buffer from the, on the residential side. There will also be a landscape buffer on this side.
You wouldn't even be able to see these from the development, because originally it was going to be higher.
Yeah.
I believe the developer did meet with some of the neighbors, and that was one concern, that they rather see a single story as opposed to a multi-story, and that's exactly what the plan is.
And lighting's no different than any normal parking lot?
Yep, we'll have lighting that meets the code, that limits the lighting that goes off-site.
You mentioned gate access. Is that, when I looked on the map, I couldn't see exactly where that was.
Yeah, it's hard, if you can go back to our concept plan, some of these plans are hard to read. But what it is, we have a single access shown on the southern end there, and you'll be able to
So
enter
you
this.
pull into the parking lot, and then it's right around that
Pull-
island?
Yeah, you can pull in there with no call it impedance, and then decide, go into the secure area or not, or just, if you're a first-time customer, you'll stop outside, go into the office.
Is that the X line there, Dennis, on the back side of that first,
Yeah, it looks like three of them.
the parking pod there, or whatever, the turnabout?
Yes.
As far as the exit, are they looking to just go right? Are we trying to make left side of there too?
It'd be yet to determine. We haven't submitted to DelDOT yet, but whether it's a full access or a right in, right out there.
Seriously? You know what it's going to be, so, okay.
We recommend a right in, right out.
Of course,
It's gonna be there.
but totally up to DelDOT.
Okay.
Is he expecting this to be a full-time, year-long operation, or is he, maybe like a seasonal item? I know it's kind of a weird question for you, you probably know the answer, but.
Yeah, I don't think I'd have the answer to that, but I imagine, people use RVs all during the year, so whether they're
Or
not
you're doing
using it.
boats, too, if you're doing boats.
Yeah, obviously boats are stored more in the winter, obviously, and used in the summer. RVs, I guess, could be used all year round, depending on where you want to go.
Okay. Council, any questions?
Your lovely picture had solar on the roof. Is that in the plan at all?
I'm told it's not currently in the plan. Those pictures are from a company out in Utah and Arizona, I believe, and which is probably real prevalent for solar.
It's not going to be here.
May not be ideal for here.
Leading question.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions, council? Anyone? Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Sharon Schultz from Spring Mill. And as you can imagine, we have a lot of questions about this project. In addition, my house is the closest one right there. So I wanted to know, what would the setback be from the back of the berm where the Spring Mill property is to?
I got bad eyesight. If I can look at the plan to see what it is.
It's a 10-foot setback from the unit to the property line, but there's no measurement on the
Right, how far that
property
is from
from
the back
that
of
to the edge of your property, so. Based on that 10-foot, you're probably 40, 50 feet looking like.
Okay.
I think they're definitely on the other side of the existing berm, so.
Be on the lower side of the existing berm, which would take it from there, because I think the berm is part of Spring Mill with the trees on top.
Where the trees
So
are.
at the bottom of that berm is where it would start, so the berm and all the trees on top aren't counted in that. So where the berm comes down and meets the flat ground, that's where the setbacks would go from there.
Okay. I know there's a fire hydrant back there.
All that'll be taken into consideration. Remember, this is just a preliminary plan, not even preliminary plan, concept plan.
Okay.
Just showing us what we want to do. When we get into that stuff, the discussions then will be exactly where it's going to be in relation to the berm, to where it comes down to the area that's flat. Yeah.
Okay.
But these are lower than what the berm is itself.
Laura, but we talked a little bit about the trees on the berm.
Yep.
Many of the trees there are missing, and the trees are very tall, so they may provide, a lot of protection from visibility up high, but not down low. So as it is now, I get a lot of road noise from Summit Bridge, and especially we can see all of the lights from the buildings across from there. So my concern would be, how much more light and exposure are we going to get from this?
Well, they're probably going to be lower in the berm, but that's a great question for when we get to that. Write that down, Kristen. So we get to where they actually come in and do preliminary plan approval. That's one of the questions they ask. And then also about from the bottom of the trees to the top of the berm, that space you're talking about, McKee's pretty open to doing stuff. So it might be to their advantage when we do this to fill that in with smaller shrubs or something like that. It's not a big cost item to help alleviate the lights and everything from 71.
Perfect. And then my last question is this going to take all three parcels, so pretty much from the swing sets down to the Dunkin' Donuts parking lot?
Yes, all three parcels are part of the plan.
Okay. And then on your drawing, what are the buildings to the left?
There's a small building, it's an office building that you would go in, do business, rent the spaces. There's some parking there. There's some dumpsters we're showing there also. And then the stormwater management's all the way on the south side.
Okay. All right, that's it for my questions. Thank you.
Any other questions? This concept plan only for information. Then we'll address everything when Dennis comes back with preliminary plan approval.
Yeah, we'll have a preliminary plan and also a preliminary landscape plan at that time.
That's perfect. Mention to them, bottom of the trees, top of the berm. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Next on the agenda is 5187 Summit Bridge Road. It's a record major land development and subdivision plan for a project to combine 3 lots totaling 3.01 acres to develop 2 flex buildings in 2 phases in a C3 zoned area. Phase 1, 900 square feet building with associated parking and site improvements. Phase 2 to consist of 9,480 square foot building with associated site improvements and parking. Yes, sir.
Good evening again. My name is Dennis Hume with Wood & Associates. This project is also on Summer Bridge Road, 5187. It's on the east side of Summer Ridge Road, just north of the project we just previously discussed, and just south of Windmill Lane. This is I believe, second and final time we'll be before you for this plan. The plan is to build 2 commercial flex space buildings in 2 phases, so it'll be building one building at a time. We have access on the southern side of the property. It's a full access entrance, and we're at the final stages with Delta approval on that. Our full set of construction plans has been submitted to the town engineer for review. Did that last month, and I don't see any issues to address any comments. And if you have any other questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
All right, let's get it on the floor so we can ask questions. I'll entertain a motion to approve the record major land development and subdivision plan for 5187 Summit Bridge Road.
So moved.
Moved by
Second?
Aaron and seconded by Jim. Where exactly, is this the one where they're parking all the trucks?
Yes, sir.
And, okay, the one on the right side, okay.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that was the same property. Okay,
Same question. Right in, right out?
This is actually a full access. Can
This is
make a
full
left
intersection.
out. This was, we just discussed this in the preliminary stage, and yes, it works out that
They can
the
pull
traffic
left,
count.
they can pull left out of this.
Yeah, because
It's far
it's
enough
very
away from
low
the
volume site with the buildings, size of the buildings, and all the numbers work out to, we have a dedicated left-in turn lane that we're building, so there is some
I see that.
widening. There is some widening going on the road. But yes, it meets the
it's far
criteria.
enough away from the intersection at Spring Mill to be able to
Right,
left out.
yeah, that's to get that left in, that's why it's on the southern end.
So combining all 3 lots and building 2 buildings on 3 lots.
Correct.
Okay. Any other questions on the motion? Anyone have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
You know, inquiring minds, we want to know.
Sure.
Sharon Schilt from Spring Mill again. So I guess the concern is this property is right across from Windmill Lane, and there's already a lot of traffic there. Now, we do know that we have a traffic light at the other end of Spring
end,
Mill, and
yeah.
we do use that. But for most of the Monday to Friday afternoon, that's nonstop. You know, in the direction going into town. So I'm concerned about adding the additional traffic. Will these buildings be companies with high flow?
These buildings they're types of buildings that are technically for like contractor use, not a lot of retail use where you have customers coming and going. Typical business would be like an electrical contractor that's loading up in the morning, going to work, coming back, things like that, maybe landscape businesses, stuff like that. So it's not a real high volume type of product, these buildings.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, they wouldn't give them left out if there was a lot of traffic coming out of there, so. Okay, any other questions? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you,
Have a
Dennis.
great night.
Okay, next on the agenda is a motion to adopt ordinance 260101 to amend chapter 45, section 21 of the Town of Middletown Code of Ordinances and to amend the business license fee chart for 2026. It's shown as $275. That needs to be changed to $270. So the business license for that section will decrease from $275 to $270. So I'll entertain a motion to adopt ordinance 260101 to amend chapter 45, section 21 of the Code of Ordinances. Moved by Mr. Orr, seconded by Mr. Sherman. Questions on the motion? Anyone? Questions? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next on the agenda is a motion to adopt ordinance 260102 to amend section 4 in the Town of Middletown zoning code regarding the sales of food and goods from mobile units. Mr. Deputy.
Yeah, back when we amended the zoning code to, for mobile food vendors, we put the actual price of the permit, which can change from time to time. So the language just makes it more generic that they have to pay the fee that's applicable for that business. So as it changes, we don't have to keep changing the zoning code in the future.
Okay, so whatever the new one is, they'd have to pay that year, okay. Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to adopt ordinance 260102 to amend section 4 in the town of Middletown zoning code regarding the sales of food and goods from mobile units.
So moved?
Second.
Moved by Mr. Royston, seconded by Mr. Blythe. Questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. The next item on the agenda is the 2026 tree planting and tree management grant discussion. Discussion only. There's no packets at all that we've gotten. So what are we discussing?
So, what we're doing is, last year we had tried to do this, and the funding was pulled at the federal level. So recently, we were informed that that funding was returned by the Forest Service. So we've been working with Todd Fry, our engineer, and our Parks Department about some of the details for it. We're looking at, in the beginning phases of an application for a $5,000 grant. We would match in cash, and all the work would be done by our Parks Department. We're looking to target the entrance to Price Park and kind of clean up a little bit over in Doc Levinson Park. We've been able to get the samples as far as what were needed for that before the snow came. And Todd is currently working on site visits and plans proposals that we need to do for that. The application for that is due at the February 27th.
So Price and Doc Levinson Park?
Yeah.
Okay. So right now, you're just looking and then going to put in the grant if feasible, put in for the grant application?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're trying to schedule a date to do a site visit for us.
Okay.
Yep.
The grant is 5K and we're matching, is that what we're proposing?
Yeah.
And we do labor. Yep. Okay. Any questions around that? Anyone? Yes, ma'am.
So I'm not saying that Doc Levinson Park doesn't need to do this, but this was the grant that I brought to the town last year, same funding, and now you're gonna apply for it across town? That's what, so I just want it to go on record that that's what's happening.
Well, yeah, I mean, we did, our previous grant, we did over where we are, where I live and where you live, and we did trees over there. So there's other areas of the town that could use some work too. And I've mentioned that in the past too, as far as that's concerned. That's not something we, have talked about or never talked about. There's lots of areas that we've looked at in the past, and these two for this particular grant seem like it'd be a good choice.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, next on the agenda is a motion to adopt resolution 260201 to amend the town of Middletown Personnel Policy Manual. Mr. Deputy.
So this is our final draft for amending our alcohol and drug policy for employees to comply with new state laws on drugs, specifically marijuana. But it covers reasonable suspicion and how we handle CDL drivers in accordance with state law.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to adopt resolution 260201 to amend the town of Middletown Personnel Policy Manual.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Blythe, seconded by Mr. Thomas. Questions on the motion? Hearing none. No in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next on the agenda, has been tabled till next month. It was a professional services agreement. And then the other one, are we tabling it also? The other one is a motion to ratify licensed business auditing consulting agreement. That has also been tabled. So the last item on the agenda before unfinished business is a motion to ratify professional services agreement for general on-call engineering services. Mr. Deputy.
So the agreement is just to have established rates with KCI Technologies, who's been our engineering consultant for decades, for when we need on-call services from time to time for work, small projects that we need, sewer capacity analysis, tie-in points, so forth. So it's not for large projects. They would still come to council, but this is when we need work analysis done, and basically establishes their rates.
So this establishing the rates prior to getting the, okay.
No anticipated work at the moment, but
Okay.
it comes up from time to time.
I'll entertain a motion to ratify professional services agreement for general on-call engineering services. Moved by Mr. Thomas, second by Mr. Orr. Any questions on the motion, council?
Laura's not assuming that these rates are comparable to, yeah.
They're actually, yeah, favorable.
Okay.
Any other questions on the motion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Unfinished business, Mr. Thomas.
Sir.
Mr. Sherman.
No, sir.
Mr. Orr.
No, sir.
Mr. Chaz.
No, sir.
Mr. Blythe.
Sir.
Mr. Royston.
No, sir.
Counselor.
Nothing.
Anyone unfinished business?
Yes, can I bring up an issue?
Is it new or unfinished?
It's new.
We'll get that in a second. New business, Mr. Thomas. Excuse me? Wow. Jeez, wahoo, good. Mr. Thomas, I'm sorry.
Sir, I'm scared.
Mr. Sherman,
No, sir.
Mr. Ward,
No, sir.
Mr. Chaz,
No, sir.
Mr. Blythe.
Yes, sir. Just wanted to thank the Public Works Department for all their work with the snow removal. They did a phenomenal job. Not done yet, but we're getting close, so thanks to all the employees that helped us.
And the public that put up with
Yeah.
one hell of a snowstorm. We've never had one like that, snow and ice that I can remember. And the cooperation and the work of our town employees, most work 40 hours straight. And then
Yeah, in
others,
some cases.
yeah, some more than that. So it was a good undertaking and not done yet, but we're getting there. So we'll have it all done by the time we have another storm. So, Mr. Royston, anything?
No, sir.
Counselor?
No, sir.
New business, yes, ma'am.
First, I just have one request. So I live over on North Ramino Drive, and I've been here for 16 years in Middletown. My name is Quenisha Harris. The tenants that live between, I believe it's Ash Boulevard and Doc Levinson Road or Drive, whatever it is, their yards are not being maintained and upkept. So the gates are rusty, their sheds are rusty, and I think it's affecting the beautification of the town. So I wanted to know if you all have money in the budget this year, if you all could put up maybe like white fences similar to what we have at Target, because those yards are starting to stick out like a sore thumb. So if you all can consider some type of plan or process, probably if you have people go out and look at that whole street from Dexter Credit Union all the way down to Ash Boulevard, you could look at the condition of the yards and not even including if they don't cut the grass, the dogs get loose, the fences are not even straight lined or maintained very well. So that's one consideration. And then I think in that same area on North Ramino Drive and the cross street of Doc Levinson Road, if you can have Middletown Police monitor that area. A lot of people, like if I'm at the stop sign, people are looking, well, like if I'm looking in my rearview mirror, it looks like these people are coming at you at 55 miles per hour.
That's
and
on
they
Doc
come up to
Levinson.
your bumper.
On Lee Ramuno or Doc Levinson?
So it's a four-way stop.
Yeah.
Your officers can correct me. It's a four-way stop. So it's on North Ramino when you stop. If they can monitor that, that would be great, because sometimes I'm sitting there and I'll stop and people are just flying and you don't know if they're gonna stop.
He's
They're
writing it
waiting
down.
too long to
He's
stop.
writing that down now.
All right,
On
thank
the-
you. Those are my two
On the
requests.
fences, that's private property.
Okay, is there a town line there outside of their property where you all can
They put-
address that?
We can inspect the properties when snow's gone,
Okay,
and if there's issues out there around not going by code, then we can address that. But
Okay.
all that is really private property, so we can't go in and put up fences like that
Okay.
pretty one behind Target. Yeah, that Target put that up, and, but the ones that are on private property, we can't go on and do those. But we can go out and make sure that they maintain those properties the way they
Oh.
should be.
okay, thank you.
Okay, no
All right.
problem. Anyone else, new business?
Thank you, Martin Bradshaw. Quick thing. Again, you brought up the team, Snow People. It was incredible. I want to talk a couple seconds on that and questions on that. You got two guys, Sean and I think Ronnie, that did some darn good work in Cummings, Middletown Crossing, north and south. Good job, fantastic. The question is, snow emergencies. You guys got it on the books. I can't put on my glasses, but you've got a code for it. We've got 12 storms since 2010, that's when I moved here, 12 storms over 10 inches, that it affects this town very big. Why haven't we used anything like that? And let me give you a couple things. Towns that we came from, I come from the Midwest, so I was snow plowing since I was 14 years old, 15. So we had things like that. Why don't we have that? Why aren't the cars off the street? To help the team do a heck of a lot quicker, better, and safer job. One big thing, why can't we move them to one side or the other? One side from 8 to 10, this type of thing to remove that snow. And then third, what I'm concerned about is safety more than anything. Cummings, and I've talked to Craig, North and South, it was almost impassable from Monday to Friday afternoon when they came. I'm not an expert on the fire engines, and there's people in here. You couldn't have gotten a hook and ladder down there to put out the fire in my home.
Trust me, we would.
Well, you know that street, Mayor, it's already too small, and then you got the snow. I'm just saying, it would have been, it would have slowed it down for sure. And I'll say it'll slow it down for sure.
If we had a fire emergency and the fire company needed our help, everything else would have been stopped. We would have been there leading the fire company in. Would not have been the first time we ever had to do that, but that would have been done. Everything would have stopped, and that would have been top priority. On the snow emergency side, you can't make them move.
You can.
Can't tell them
Put
away.
them in
No.
lines. Told them. We did it back in the Midwest. You move them. I mean, you did a great deal with the Y. They can park there. They can park at the schools. They can get them off the street during the emergency to get it cleared off.
The people have to be the ones to move the cars.
Then you can put it onto one side or the other.
The people, you're missing my point.
Well, we have no power, and when I say we, I guess I'm a citizen,
No.
but you
What
have no power to do that in the ordinances.
What power do we have?
Write it in there. If not, then it's towed, and they get the bill.
We're in the middle of a snowstorm, a blizzard, and they're going
But
to go out and
you
tow
put
the
the
car?
state of emergency ahead of time.
You can't do a state of emergency based
Or
on
snow
assumption.
emergency.
You can't do it based on an assumption. They didn't do a state of emergency after the storm had started. The governor announced a state of emergency at midnight.
Exactly. And that's before the snow started.
After the storm had already started.
Well, somewhat, yes. But you saw the record reports. I mean, Philadelphia does it,
I would love
Baltimore
to do
does it.
what
I'm
you
not
say.
talking, we're not the only town that hasn't done it.
And look at
But
Philadelphia now.
Oh, yeah, they're still going through it.
Well, that's my
But
point.
getting some of it off of there did help. They put them in parking structures.
That's
I'm
because
just trying to give suggestions
You're
for
missing my point.
emergency.
The point is the people that live there have to be the ones to move the cars. I had a lady call me, sent me a picture that complained that we plowed her car in, and sent me a picture, and I said, "Well, there's no cars in your driveway." And she said, "Well, I know." And I said, "Did you park your car in the driveway?" She said, "No, because then I would have had more to shovel out." So that's exactly what we're faced with. They had a full driveway, would have taken 2 cars and left a car on the street at the end of the cul-de-sac in your development.
I am with you. I see it.
Well, my point is, I totally agree.
I cleaned out 3 driveways by myself, and they're cleaned down to the pad.
Yes.
I'm just saying we did it without anybody being on their own. But I agree with you. I'm just saying I'm flabbergasted that you couldn't do it and then they're removed. In big time Philly, they told them. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about. I came from the Midwest where it snowed a heck of a lot more than it does here, and so those type of things. And the last thing is you've got an ordinance about sidewalks, and I know Mr. Reynolds brought it up last month, and you'd put something out. You can't get across on most of these streets, and they're going back to school tomorrow.
And I totally agree, and I understand the reason being is that there's ice on top of it, and they can't shovel it. I've been here my entire life, and we've never had a snowstorm like this. We've never had 10 inches of snow with a 1/4 to 1/2 inch of ice on top. I can walk on my front yard.
It was more like 3 inches because I was out there 4 times that day to clean off mine.
Absolutely. So this is an anomaly. It's not a given. This is a rarity.
But it still is a dangerous situation.
I know. I totally agree. And people are staying in and they just can't shovel their sidewalks. They just can't get out there and do it. I totally agree. But the state of emergency and towing vehicles and all that, it's a personal decision that the residents make around, I'm not gonna move my car. They don't want to be mailed in at their mailbox, so they'll park the car close to the mailbox. So our trucks have to go around the car in the mailbox. Aaron saw it the whole time with the Public Works group.
I think the biggest issue is even if we had a mechanism to force people to move their vehicles, there's no place to put them. Particularly
If
in
you
your
had to move
neighborhood,
it,
they're
if you
parked
put it,
on.
you would hope they would move it for sure by then, but
There's
you're right.
just not a lot of places
Yeah,
to
where
put
would
them.
you tow them to? I understand that.
We don't have, yeah, when you're talking 10,000 houses, 20,000 cars, where the hell are you gonna put them? That's more cars than
20
park.
are those all on the
That's
street?
more cars than park at the Eagle Stadium.
But very true.
I mean, I tell you, this has been one of those ones that, you know, we just have to bear with it and hope it gets above 40 degrees and we melt a little bit and we get stuff out. Our guys work till dark tonight moving snow. They're hauling
God bless him,
snow
I was
away.
out there with him talking and brought him some water. I mean.
Back in?
Yes.
Yeah. It's just something we have to, never had to do it like this before, so.
Yeah. Again, question.
I heard you, it's good, but what else we got? We're on a roll, let's get some more new business. Nothing, everybody tired? Okay, Bruce.
I'd like to make a motion that we enter into executive session to discuss personal matters.
Moved by Mr. Ward, we enter into that executive session, personnel and, matters and enter into the motion. Big vote, yes, all good.